to the Pioneer STEM Show. And like we do always, we have a guest with us, but not in studio. She's joining us all the way from the United States of America. Her name is Dr. Bolding, and she's going to show us some science part of this STEM that we're talking about. She is big on STEM education. She's part of the Biolog organization in the United States of America. And let's welcome online, joining us, Dr. Bolding.
Hello, Dr. Bolding.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. You're also kicked up already. How are you? How is it over there?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. And it is absolutely beautiful over here right now. We have beautiful temperatures. It's about 70 degrees. So it's really nice.
Please tell us a bit more about yourself. I couldn't do justice to what you're currently doing.
Well, actually, so I am a biologist by trade. I'm also faculty at a Georgia State University Perimeter College, where I teach an array of courses like cell biology and genetics. I also teach anatomy and physiology, environmental science, and a host of other courses as well. I also have a program called Biolog Laboratorium, and that's the authentic STEM hands-on program where I offer STEM opportunities to youth as young as 5 years old, all the way through college. So they do things such as biotechnology, microscopy, genetics, chemistry. So there's numerous things that we do, but it's more hands-on and it's for underserved and underrepresented people. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot that you're doing over there, and then thank you. And that is what the show is about. So we try to showcase things around the world, also locally and internationally. So thank you, and I thank God that I spotted you. So I am very sure that our audience will be learning something very thrilling today. So wait for it, everyone. Okay, so what do you have for us today? We can see some things on the table. I can't get my eyes off it. So what is that?
Well, you just said you can't get your eyes off of it, right? So it's actually a cow's eye. And what I plan to do is a cow eye dissection. This is something I actually do at the college as well as at Biolog Laboratorium. And what it does is it introduces you to the different structures of the eye. So a lot of times students at the college that do these type of dissections, they're usually students that are interested in the allied health field. So first, let me just show you that this here is a model of the eye. And so we will be looking at some of the structures, but they're not as clear cut to see as these color coded structures. For example, the muscles on the eye, the cornea, the outside of the eye is called the sclera. And then, there's also some other layers to the eye. Like, for example, the choroid, you can see it has all these vessels, which means that it's vascular. Vascular means that you have vessels. And then also on the inside of the eye, this is the third layer on the inside, we have what is called the retina. And this structure here is representing the vitreous humor. So I plan to show you that these structures with the cow eye. And I also want to mention the optic nerve. So let's go ahead and start the cow eye dissection. Okay, so first of all, this is the external part of the cow's eye. So we have the cornea here, and that's like the window to the eye. It allows light in. And then all of this tissue that you see on the eye is called adipose, the same thing as fat, and it kind of cushions the eye in the eye socket. And then we also have some dark colored structures, and those are actually muscles. And that's what I was showing you on the model, that those muscles allow the eye to move up and down and left and right. So what I'm doing now is, well, let me just show you. This is a muscle right here. So this is one of the muscles, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and remove the adipose. So I have to remove this so that I can start dissecting the eye. So again, adipose is fat tissue. That's exactly what it is. And this is in the eye socket. Okay, so I'm trying to get to a point where I can start actually dissecting it. So this one, most have quite a bit of fat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm also removing some of the muscles that I showed you prior. So that's a muscle. It's a nice muscle there. This is actually a nice cow eye here. And I actually got this eye from a vendor. So we have vendors that we purchase these eyes from. So, you know.
Purchase the cow eye from, I mean, here in Nigeria, I'm not sure it's to be purchased. We just eat the meat. I'm sure the cow eye just goes to the bin. So you're shredding the fatty tissues around the eye.
Yeah, and so now I have exposed the optic nerve, and that's at the back of the eye. So the optic nerve is actually made up of millions of nerve fibers that take information to the brain for vision. So I have exposed that. You can see the optic nerve, and also that's where your blind spot is. So that's another thing about because we have that those nerve fibers going through the back of the eye, that creates a blind spot. So let me. So you can see there's quite a bit of fatty tissue here, adipose. Okay. I'm going to move that to the side. Okay, so again, so basically what I'm exposing now, once I remove this, all of this adipose, I'm exposing that outer layer, which is called the sclera. So that's the white of the eye. When you look at someone and you see the white of the eye, that's called the sclera.
The sclera.
Yeah, and that's the outermost layer, okay? Yeah. So now I'm gonna push this forward because it's sort of...
Okay,
so now I'm going to use a scalpel, and you can always take off more fat. It's just that I know that we have time constraints, but you can always remove more of the fat. Let me see if I can just move a little bit more. I'm gonna remove a little bit more from here. So you still have some, but you can see this nice optic nerve here. Let me just remove just a little bit more because that's quite a bit of it.
Dr. Bolding, is this exactly the way the human eye is?
Yes, pretty much. For the most part, yes. We do have an optic nerve that sends visual information to the back of the eye. Now, there is a different structure in here that we as humans do not have, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do what we call a coronal cut or section. Okay, so once I make the incision, I can go ahead and just cut around the eye. Okay, so let me make sure you can see this. So you see the fluid that's coming out of the eye? Okay, that is actually aqueous humor. And the aqueous humor actually nourishes the lens as well as the cornea because they do not have a blood supply. So that watery substance that you see there, that is actually aqueous humor. Okay, so from there, okay, so again, this is the outside, which is the cornea, and then the sclera, okay? And then on the inside, this opening here is called the pupil. Let me just show you that. This here is the pupil, yes. And then around it, it is the iris, okay? And they actually, those structures control the amount of light that comes into the eye. So if there's too much light, the iris will cause the pupil to close. If there's not enough light, that iris around the pupil will cause the pupil to open. The iris will cause the pupil to open. Okay, so that's the front part. And like I said, this liquid here is actually vitreous humor that helps nourish this particular structure, which is called the lens. This here is where you find that a lot of people who, it could be genetic or it could be age, they get something called cataracts, and cataracts can lead to blindness. So this is the structure where people develop some cloudiness. It could be genetic or it could be age related, and it's called the cataract. But nowadays, due to advances in science, they give lens implants now, so that can be corrected. So that's what this structure is, the lens. Okay, and then we have this is at the back of the eye. We have like a jelly-like substance. It's kind of hard to see it. Let me see if I can pull some of it out. It's actually called vitreous humor. It's very I really can't get much of it out. This particular eye may not have a lot of it, but vitreous humor is actually a substance that keeps the retina, which is this structure here. This beige structure is called the retina. It keeps that structure against the back of the eye. And let me tell you, that's a very important structure. So that's the innermost layer. And what it is that's where the photoreceptor cells are. And those are the cells that allow you to see at night and in the daytime. So they're called the rods and the cones. Those are the photoreceptors, and that's where you will find them on this particular structure. Now, also, there's another layer prior to the retina where you see the brown, okay? And this is, let me see if I can remove this a little bit, because this is a very delicate layer here, this retina. Oh, and another thing about the retina, if you have like a torn retina or something, it can affect your vision. You can start seeing double, or if you can lose your sight. So that's the significance of that jelly-like substance, is to hold the retina against the back of the eye. But the brown part you see here, that's the choroid, and that's what I showed you in the model. The choroid is the middle layer, and they call it vascular. They call it vascular because it has vessels, blood vessels, and it provides nutrients for the actual retina. And then if you look here, it looks, let me see if I can, you see this bluish color in the back. Okay, we do not have that, okay? You only find, and they call it like the tapetum or the tapetum lucidum, and that's you can only find that in animals, and that's how they're able to see at night. So that's a part of the eye that we do not have, is the tapetum or the tapetum lucidum, okay? Yeah, and so again, that's the optic nerve back there. So that's pretty much the parts of the eye. And I do want to mention that the vision is in the back of the brain. So information is taken through the optic nerve to the visual center at the back of the brain.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bolding. Please encourage us. Why did you go into STEM?
Well, the reason why I tell people to go into STEM is because of the skill sets that you acquire, the critical thinking skills, the analytical skills. So those are the type of skills that can be used in any profession. So you're not limited to just doing a STEM field. You can start off that way, and you can always progress into another field. So those skill sets that you acquire from having that, that experience with STEM, it can lead to any type of profession. It works in all professions. And I just wanted to say also, thank you for having me.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Thank you too. So I hope you all enjoyed this session. Bye for now, Dr. Bolding. I hope next time we'll call you, you'll be on ground. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
It's been an amazing time with Dr. Bolding. Dr. Bolding, thank you. Big shout out to you. So I hope it's mind-opening and eye-opening for us all, that the cow that we eat, we can actually use the eyes, which we don't have to buy, to introduce our kids to STEM. Now, this is addressing the science part of it. And like Dr. Bolding said, and has encouraged us all to go into STEM. So whatever field we start up with, we can end up with another field in STEM. It is at this point that we draw the curtain on the Pioneer STEM Show. Don't forget to follow us and join the conversation on all of our social media handles at the Pioneer STEM Show on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Bye for now.